Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today we're going to be going over RWBY Volume 7 Episode 5, entitled Sparks. Overall, this episode was a great episode as it reintroduces us to some characters and introduces us to a new face within the RWBY story, and did a great job in giving a lot more credit to the character of Winter Schnee. Now, really quickly, I do just want to say sorry to any of those who are upset for the fact that I spoiled the fact that Neon returns in this episode. Like, I couldn't leave this character out of the thumbnail. Just look at that cheeky expression. It's just so adorable. So, I had to do it. Anyway, with that being said, why don't we just start with Team Funky. So Team Funky, they do return, and the new designs are actually really good. I actually really do like the new designs for them, and it makes me want to see these characters a lot more. Honestly, I do prefer Neon's redesign, because if we're looking at the designs from before and the designs from now, it's got a lot more improvement for Neon's character. Like, Pat in Volume 3, I didn't really like the whole pigtail, like, big bushy hair type of thing. I much prefer this nice subtle design that still gives the character a lot more sort of happy and cheerful, go-lucky vibes. Much to what the character actually, entails anyway. She's a happy character, she's full of life, full of energy. She moves along to the beat, and her partner obviously does the same. And here's the redesign, makes him look more smart, more casual at the same time. And honestly, I do like the design for that as well. Flying has a new design, and it still fits the jazz type theme that his character is based around, which I thought was actually really, really clever. However, this was actually really used to basically show us just how much Jean, Nora, Oscar and Ren have improved, as they have to take on this team of Team Funky in order to kind of show off their skills and prove that they can be a team of capable warriors, so to speak. And honestly, I quite liked it. I wasn't quite sure what Oscar was doing, but we see a little bit of his training. Now, speaking of Oscar and his training, I am a little bit disappointed to see that the kind of scene in the intro with Oscar fighting off against Ironwood is basically just them two training together. Yes, I do like the idea of Oscar being mentored by both Osbin, while being in his mind, and Ironwood from a combat point of view. Osbin will obviously teach him smarts and skills, and then Ironwood will teach him the combat and camaraderie, I suppose. So I like that dynamic, but at the same time, I was kind of looking forward to something big and juicy from that fight scene in the opening, and it just turns out to be training, but oh well. And another thing, while they're training, what is Nora doing? Like, I get she's riding a hammer, but it looks like she's just passing wind and colourful clouds are coming out of her behind. And she's trying to copy Neon with a kind of rainbow thing, but instead she has like a hammer gas bubble coming out. It looks really weird, and yeah, just that. So, while this is going on, while this is all going on, we actually get to see the whole gang getting used to missions and Huntress and Huntsman's life, and it's in the way of a montage. And honestly, I actually really did like this, because we see perspectives from pretty much every character. They're bonding with the Aesops, and they're doing the missions on themselves, improving themselves, and training together. All the while, we get to see the good interactions, we get to see some fairly funny things, and we get some great music. The new song that is found in this part of the montage is actually really catchy, and I do like it quite a bit. I can't wait to hear the full version. Now, before I mention Robin Hill's appearance, I just want to talk about RWBY, Qrow, and Penny quickly. And honestly, in this scene when we see RWBY, she looks exhausted. And is that from overworking or from keeping up appearances in terms of her lie to Ironwood? I mean, she has been through a lot recently, so she probably is due to have a big rest. And maybe with this whole Huntress sort of promotion type of thing, maybe doing missions and doing all this stuff, it's getting to her a little bit. Honestly, it shows a bit of vulnerability to Ruby's character, which I think is a little bit nice because it shows that she's not actually 100% superhuman, which we know this, but, you know, it's just a little bit concerning. Will this play a big part later on? Will she be tired and make the wrong decision? Who knows? Is a possibility. Now, the other character, like I said, Qrow. Qrow actually gets some praise in this episode. And it's in the way of Clover. And he's been the guy... Clover basically just states, look, Qrow, you've been the guy to help Team RWBY and the others brave the travel to Atlas after the fall of Beacon. And he states that if it wasn't for Qrow, they wouldn't have made it. Clover, you clearly haven't met Maria Calavera. Maybe you have, actually. I mean, that would be an interesting story if, you know, having a side story with, like, Maria versus the Aesops. I think that would actually be really funny. Like, it'll be more for comedic purposes, but I would love to see it. Now, it does also seem like Qrow is no longer drinking anymore. So good for you, Qrow. But just don't whip out that flask when you meet Salem or something that reminds you of Summer's death or something. Because honestly, saying that you quit drinking and then kind of going back to it, yes, it's kind of like a shock, but it's also very diminishing for your character. So just keep up the no drinking policy, I suppose. And next up, Penny. Penny's always a breath of fresh air throughout this series, and she was brilliant. Her enthusiasm at the beginning, throughout the episode as well, was brilliant. But Penny could be destroyed again after this episode. Now, I really hope she doesn't, and I doubt that she does, but it does seem possible. Because maybe she doesn't have the ability to apprehend any humans who aren't really considered a threat. This basically means public. And with the threat of the civilians uprising towards the end of this episode, sorry for skipping ahead, but you know how it is, it kind of might be that Penny's not programmed, or is programmed, to not attack anyone in Mantle, apart from Grimm. And if these people actually get a hold of Penny, who's said to be the protector, and one of the key reasons as to why Ironwood wouldn't invest in defences is because Penny's around to protect them, which she's more than capable of doing so. Maybe if they break Penny, they'll actually get some funding. I don't know. It's a bit of a dark, twisted kind of vibe to that mini thought, and I hope it doesn't come to fruition, but, you know, could be. Oh, and this reaction shot that you see up on screen made me laugh a lot when they encounter like something on the road and it's like, Penny, we need you to scout the area and, you know, check everything out. Be on backup just in case we need you. And she's like, I've calculated for 7 possible outcomes and have countermeasures for them. And everyone's just like, what? What? And the reaction shots are just great, so I had to include it. Moving on then, Robin Hill. Robin Hill's character had a good first introduction. It was great. I actually really did enjoy it. And it doesn't set her character up to be a villain. More so, it kind of sets her up to be a decent person. And her intentions are purely based around helping the citizens of Mantle, in the fact that she wants to boost the wall's defences to basically stop Grimm from coming in. And we know that Grimm does come in because obviously episode 1 shows us that, so it's nice to see that she's trying to think of the people and do it that way. And she seems pretty smart too, as she's happy to take on Clover, Qrow and RWBY, but once Penny comes in, she's like, nah, we're not gonna fight, you know, you guys can pass. And I'm not sure that she fears Penny as such, because I believe it's more out of respect and out of gratitude towards the protector of Mantle, because that's the name that she calls Penny when she first sees her. She's like, oh, the protector of Mantle. And it's kind of like, maybe she's thankful for that, but at the same time, you know, she's slightly annoyed. Could be. And she's also trying to gain a seat on the council, So she's in the running with, was it J-Squop? Is that his name? I don't think that's how you pronounce it at all. Weiss's father, basically. And I think Ironwood as well. I'm not sure if he's running. I know he's got a seat on the council. Yeah. So she's basically up as a candidate. And honestly, out of the options that we have at the moment, I would vote for her, honestly. Although our options aren't that favourable because pretty much every character is, has a lie up their sleeve. Pretty much like British politicians, but I'm not going to get into that. Design-wise, I really like her design. And her voice actor for it, I fortunately didn't look it up, but I'm going to have to give praise to the voice acting for this character. To me, it fits the character very well, and I actually really do enjoy the voice behind it. So, for that, great job. And obviously, she's a very strong designed character, and her crew, or followers, huntresses, they seem pretty cool too. Two of them look like they can go invisible, which intrigues me a little bit, and I kind of want to learn more about them, which I'm pretty sure we will. We just have to wait and see how the story develops with these characters. Oh, quick thought. Maybe, if we saw in the opening we had Qrow and Tyrion and this lady, Robin, we all had them kind of fighting and working together. So maybe it's a case of like a metaphor, because it's like they've got Qrow representing Ironwood, you've got Robin representing herself, and you've got Tyrion representing the Schnee family and obviously Watts and their scheme. And they're fighting to back each other up. And the reason why it looks like Qrow and Robin are on the same team is in fact because they have a temporary alliance with Ironwood's crew and Robin's crew, so that they can deal with the biggest threat first and then go at each other again afterwards. It seems pretty logical, and if this is the case, then I quite like it. It doesn't set Qrow up to be a traitor or, switching sides, so that's pretty good. It's just a quick thought that I had anyway. So then we actually end the episode off with some great winter development. As this character for me is a character that isn't someone I care about, but then by the end of this episode, I'm actually a little bit intrigued and invested in this character. We do see a cool, pun definitely intended, summoning battle between her and Weiss, and this just shows us that Weiss still isn't as strong as her sister, which we kind of could have guessed, but it's nice to see that Weiss is getting close, but still needs refinement. And we learn that these two girls both had it equally rough, as they both strive to leave the Schnee family household and cleave their own path in life away from the Schnee name. Yes, Weiss in fact does the same as Winter. In fact, does the same as Weiss, and she leaves and goes to Atlas and works under Ironwood, so that she doesn't have to rely on her father or her mother or her family in general. And this just proves that Winter is a strong character, both physically and mentally, which we kind of did already know, but it's nice to have that clarification. And well, it's not really that important, I guess, but we do see the Winter Maiden, and her name is Frias. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she's not in good shape. I'll say that much. She's kind of it looks like she likes art from the looks of things, but it looks like she can keel over at any minute. Now, the reason why they announced this is to basically kind of show the trust between Winter and Ironwood, because Ironwood actually trusted Winter with this secret, which we kind of didn't know because they already stated that in the previous episodes. However, it said that Winter is next in line for the maiden powers once once this one passes away. So we have this kind of unbreakable trust and bond between Ironwood and Winter, to the point where Ironwood has nurtured and kind of built up Winter and her abilities and strengths so that she can possess the Winter Maiden's power and help the world to be a better place. And honestly, I love the similarities between the way that Osbin went about kind of choosing his candidate for the next full Maiden's powers with Pyrrha and that lot. And I like the kind of the way, it's very similar to the way the Ironwood is going about choosing his next successor for the Winter Maiden. I love the fact that these two characters of Ironwood and Osbin were at odds with each other, yet at the same time they still share similar kind of teaching methods and techniques. I found that to be pretty cool. And this could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing for Winter, as she's strong and she could get stronger, but she's now more of a target for Grimm or Salem or Cinder. If any of these characters want the Maiden's powers, which we know that Salem views the Maiden's powers as a threat unless they're under her control. And this is kind of, kind of worrying actually, because Salem might want to go after this just to eradicate that little bit of danger. And if that's the case, then we could have a very heartbreaking scene between Weiss and Winter, where Winter basically dies. And, that actually could be a good reaction. Sorry. Now then, the cliffhanger ending. Now this was a bit confusing, but Weiss's father is basically closing all of the Schnee Dust Company work outlets in Mantle, and he's only going to reopen them once he's elected into the council. This is where the episode titled Sparks comes into play, as this basically throws Mantle into a state of chaos. It sparks a revolution in the citizens. They're not happy with the fact that they can't work and earn money and get a living, so they're going to uprise and basically take their anger out on anything they can. And we see that in this episode. We see cars being flipped, we see trash cans being thrown. And this only spells trouble for our main heroes. Because although this could persuade people to vote for Weiss's father so that they can work again, it also creates a lot of trouble if our main heroes decide to go back into Mantle and they need to do something. If they're huntsmen and huntresses and they haven't been helping, then, that could be a problem. The citizens could cause a ruckus and prevent the team from doing their job properly. Now, this does also somewhat explain as to why Tyrion killed one of Robin Hill's supporters in episode 2 at the end. Remember that guy that was shouting on the aeroplane when the team got arrested? He was like, Ironwood is lying to everybody and all this and all that and whatever. And that guy got killed by Tyrion. Now, that guy is a supporter of Robin Hill, and you would think that he might have some form of respect to a good amount that the other supporters of Robin Hill would respect and listen to him. So if they were starting to uprise and he would go, no, don't worry guys, Robin Hill will actually save us. She'll come through for us. She'll get the fundings we need and the information that we desire. She'll open up new businesses. Then this would make Weiss's father and what's his plan kind of more difficult. So getting rid of him early on kind of does link back to this whole plan and situation. So I kind of do like that, whether or not that was intended or whether or not that's just something that my brain kind of throwed out as a brain fart. I don't know, but it seemed cool. All in all, this was a great episode, and I'm hoping to see a lot more chaos and a lot more unforeseen turn of events in future episodes to come. So, with all that said and done, if you've enjoyed this episode and this review, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll be catching you next time. Bye.